Hillary Clinton is trying to sew up the nomination tomorrow night in California. Donald Trump will, in fact, sew up the nomination. It's the reality of the math. I want to talk to my good friends who are saying never Trump. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
As this election cycle progresses, we will spend a good bit of time talking about Hillary Clinton. Of course, you know that a book is coming out written by a former Secret Service officer who protected the Clintons and has some stories to tell. So we will discuss those things as we go forward and discuss her as a candidate, her policies, what makes her tick, her connections to banks, her connections to the Saudis. We'll talk about all of it. And tomorrow night in California, she's going to try and numerically sew up the nomination. The party is putting pressure on Bernie Sanders to quit. He won't do it. So we'll keep following that. But I need to talk to my friends who are like maniacal against Trump. Would you rather have Hillary? And if you're saying yes, beware. Beware. Would you destroy everything that you love in order to stop what you hate? In other words, Hillary Clinton, we know, is going to do everything in her power to continue murdering babies, to continue not just homosexual marriage, but this insanity now about transgender bathrooms. I mean, this is crazy. This is gutter, sewer. We know that she is going to let the big banks do what they want. She's in their pocket, having gotten massive amounts of money for 30-minute speeches. We know that she's not going to do much to stop the Saudis. They've given her, we don't know how much money. And they're not only oppressing women, but the Saudi people are the largest funders of terrorism in the world. We know that she is not going to even say the words Islamic terrorism, much less fight it. We know she's not going to secure the southern border. We know that she's going to continue to let Muslim refugees come in, a certain percentage of which are terrorists and will commit acts of terror. So when you look at what Hillary will bring, because she has said that she's going to bring it, at the end of the day, we have a choice. There's only going to be one of two people as president in this country. It's either going to be Hillary or it's going to be Trump. That's it. Now, before I go any further, I want to acknowledge that there is an ethical element for many people. Howard Phillips, the late Howard Phillips, used to say, our vote is the political currency of our virtue. Our vote is the political currency of our virtue. And he would say the lesser of two evils is still evil. So I understand that there are people watching this program who will not vote for Donald Trump because of ethical convictions. They don't trust Trump's conversion to pro-life. They don't trust Trump's conversion regarding marriage. They don't trust Trump's conversion regarding the Second Amendment. They think he's arrogant. They think he's a philanderer, and on and on. They don't want, like the fact that he's got 3 marriages. So there are people watching this program who refuse to vote for Trump because of who he was. They don't trust any of his changes in position and policy, and they would therefore, they're not going to vote for him. I get that. But I want to talk to you about big picture and little picture. And I mean on a personal level, okay? The biggest picture of all is that we will give an account to God for our lives. We will give an account to God for our actions, our thoughts, words, deeds, and things we failed to do, okay? I understand that's the biggest picture. But when we come back from this break, I want to talk about little picture and big picture on the political scene. My little picture is my vote. The big picture is party politics, the future of the republic, who occupies the White House, and what does our country look like because of that occupant. I'll be right back. If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. If you look on our website, you can see the predictions that I made about when Trump would secure the nomination. If you watch episodes months, I'm 5, 6, 7 months old, I predicted that Trump was going to be the nominee. When every talking head on Fox and CNN and anywhere was saying Trump will never make it, I sat in this chair and I said to you, Donald Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. Now, this is not a nanny boo-hoo. Why is that important? It's important because I understood something as a lifelong political, cultural, social activist and warrior and leader. I understood something that those poor misguided fools in Washington, D.C. and New York City could never grasp. Rage, fury, blind rage with some people. The disgust, the levels of passionate distrust, and the levels of a sense of we've been betrayed, we've been lied to, and there's nothing that you can say that is going to change our mind. We don't even want to hear the timbre of your voice. They didn't get it. They didn't get it. I got it. Others got it. Not people on, on the big screen in our talking head worlds, but I got it. Because I was in jail in 92 in Houston. We were in the freedom cage in 96 or 2000 up in Boston. All right, I've been through these battles at political conventions, at the Democrat convention, at the Republican convention. I've been at the forefront of movements to say we will not vote for Dole. Using my voice on radio, we will not support McCain. So I understand. But here's the little picture and the big picture that I was talking about before. Little picture was my vote. I'm not going to vote for Bob Dole, because Dole said, I'm not bound to follow the Republican Party platform. I'll do what I want. My vote. I live in New York State at the time. I know that if I vote for Dole or don't vote for Dole, it's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things because New York is going to go overwhelmingly Democrat. All right? So Clinton carried New York. That was my little thing. But in the big picture, I was using my voice then, as I have used it in many election cycles, to say that the Republican Party establishment is corrupt. I ran in 1998 for the U.S. House of Representatives, and it was 4 Republican governors who raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to smash me, to crush me politically. All right? Governor of New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and California. So they came at me with money. I ran in 2006 for the state Senate in Florida. All right? And again, it was the Republican Party establishment that raised a small fortune, probably $250,000, for a state race, a local race. And they pummeled me. These are evil doers. These are corrupt, often godless men. Okay? I mean, they might have a Christian baptism, but they don't care about the fear of God and about dead babies and innocent blood. They just don't care. So I have used my voice at different times to say this machine, the Republican establishment in Washington, D.C., and in many of our state governments, is corrupt, through and through corrupt. And what we need is to break the kneecaps of the Republican establishment. I'm saying that euphemistically, because they are the biggest impediment to real reform. I mean, in other words, who's the bigger threat? Judas or Pilate? Well, Jesus said Judas had the bigger sin. It takes a traitor from inside to turn you over. That's why Benedict Arnold is held in such contempt. So I kept saying the Republican establishment is the problem. All right? Little picture, my vote. Big picture, politically, Republican Party, our enemy. Republican Party establishment, our enemy. And along comes Trump. Along comes Trump, and oh my goodness, what is he doing? He is smashing our enemy, the Republican Party establishment. Don't you see it? Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. So let me be clear. For you who just joined me, I'm Randall Terry. This is the Voice of Resistance. We welcome you to the program. If I had been able to vote for Trump in '96 instead of Bob Dole, and it was Trump against Bill Clinton, I'd have voted for Trump in a heartbeat. Because if Trump was running then like he is now, in other words, same party or same positions, same just rolling over the Republican Party establishment, going toe-to-toe publicly with Ryan and with McConnell and with McCain, I'd have voted for him in a heartbeat. Now, because back then in '96, in '98, in 2000, I understood that the Republican establishment was the greatest impediment to change. For those of you who are regulars on the program, this is me tooting my own horn, but I have to do it. My credentials are so long on this. I don't want to hear from any complainers. I don't want to hear from you. If you want to attack my pro-life credentials, you're out of your mind. If you want to attack my wisdom on this, I'm sorry. I've been ahead of the curve about about the Republican Party and its wickedness in this country for almost 20 years. All right, and now payday has come. The Republican Party is in chaos. They don't know what to do. And it's thrilling. It's wonderful. Donald Trump is blowing a hole. All right, he is blowing a hole if you want to use a football analogy, for the running backs to come through. I've got so many illustrations going on in my mind. Listen, do I think Trump is the best candidate? No. I'd like to see Alan Keyes as president. I would. I think Alan Keyes is a brilliant man, and I think that his moral compass is spot on. But Alan Keyes is not running right now. He's not going to be president. So the only two people that are going to be president, barring some horrible catastrophe, is Hillary or Trump. So I want Trump. And I'm thrilled that it's Trump because, in part, because of what he is doing to the Republican establishment. And people like you and people like me who might want to follow him through the hole that he's created, so that other people who despise the establishment can run and win. Nothing would make me happier other than a Trump presidency as if Paul Ryan, the current Speaker of the House, got beat in his primary. I would do somersaults. In fact, we'll get footage. I will do somersaults in the lawn. You will film me. It'll be ugly to watch. We've got to do a lot of editing. I will do somersaults for joy if Paul Ryan gets beat in a primary. We ran a primary against John Boehner in 2010. We ran a candidate, Dave, why is my mind? Yeah, David Lewis. David, I'm sorry if you're watching this. David Lewis ran, got 18% of the vote, but against John Boehner, the Speaker of the House, because we knew Boehner was the problem. He was the problem. And then finally, 5-6 years later, they start coming around. Well, maybe Boehner and McConnell are the problem. We were doing a tour in Kentucky, going to every media market with a man in a chicken suit saying old McConnell had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he grew boneless chickens. We called him the head of the boneless chicken ranch because he's a coward, spineless. So I'm impassioned because I'm so excited. And this is 20 years coming for me. All right? Trump not only has the chance to capture the White House, to win the White House, he has the chance to blow a hole in the establishment, the moneyed forces inside of the Republican Party. And maybe some of us, the rabble, the unwashed Philistines as they look at us, the pitchforks at the gate, maybe some of us can not just have a seat at the table. I don't care about having a seat at their table. I'll make firewood out of their table. Maybe some of us can have a table in the presence of our enemies, like David said in Psalm 23. Maybe some of us can get elected at the state level, at the federal level, into governor's mansions. Maybe some of our people will be put in positions on the federal judiciary or in the Supreme Court. Maybe we could get the republic back into the hands of righteous men and women who would not have stood a chance if the Republican Party maintained its death grip on party politics. But Donald Trump has broken every finger of their godless death grip. And now it's up to you and I to capitalize on that, not to whine because Donald Trump, I don't trust him, blah, blah, blah. Get a grip and see to it that not only is Hillary defeated, but that Trump wins the presidency and helps break the death grip of the Republican Party for the next generation, okay? Then maybe we stand a chance to reform and to restore the republic. Deep breaths, Randall. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it. so that we can stay in touch with you. And yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. For any of our viewers who are upset with me over this show, over me saying you should vote for Trump, not just to stop Hillary, but to blow a hole in the Republican establishment. Any of you, write me. We're getting emails. I read them on the air. I'm happy to use your emails as a backdrop. I'll answer your questions. I take this in deadly earnest. Listen, you don't have to be a prophet. You don't have to be insightful. You don't have to have oodles of knowledge to see that America is in deep trouble. We are dying as a culture, all right? I have been saying in every venue that I could, national radio, national television, print media, things under my control, things not under my control, that America is dying and that we are in danger of the judgment of God because of the blood that is crying out to God for vengeance. Read 2 Kings chapter 24. Read about the destruction of Judah and Jerusalem, the destruction of the temple because of the blood that cried from the ground. Okay? Read Leviticus chapter 20. Study the theme of innocent blood. We're in trouble, people. This republic may not survive. But this I can tell you. If we continue on our current trajectory, then we for sure won't survive. We for sure won't survive. Now, some people have said to me, well, where does God use somebody as wicked as Trump to bring about righteous change? Cyrus, king of Persia, had the Jews go back and rebuild the temple. Nebuchadnezzar, God used Nebuchadnezzar to bring judgment on Israel, and then Nebuchadnezzar saved Daniel. Think about it. And the three Hebrew children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Think about that. Or Jehu, son of Nimshi, that rideth furiously. He was used by God to bring judgment on Ahab and Jezebel. And Jehu was not a good man. He continued worshiping the idols. All right? So, but God even promised him that him and his sons for 4 generations would hold the throne of Israel because he did what God told him to do against Ahab and Jezebel. So yes, of course there are times when God uses flawed people to do good things. You know what? Listen to me for a minute. Think in your own life. Think of your own life. Maybe your mom or your dad or a grandpa or a relative or a neighbor, someone who's not really devout. You question whether or not they're a Christian at all. But somehow God used them to help you once. With guidance, with a material need, with like a word, like, you know, the dumb ass speaking, the donkey that spoke. Maybe God used them to speak something to you and you're like, man, where did that come from? So in your own life, you know that there are times that God has used flawed people, some of them very flawed people, to help you or to guide you or to rebuke you. How could you not see that the same thing could be happening with Trump for the country? All right? Well, is this what we've become? Yes, this is what we've become. This is a bread and circus country. That should not be a news flash to you. All right? But as long as there's bread and circuses that are making the general public numb, when Donald Trump comes in swinging against the Republican establishment and against Hillary, man, there's a fight worth watching. And guess what? It's not a circus. It's the real thing. And if Trump loses this election and Hillary wins this election, then the Obama-Clinton freight train that just drives us into the jaws of hell is going to continue unabated. And then we'll see what happens. We'll see what we look like 10, 20, 30 years from now. Which do you pick?